All right, let's pull back the curtain on something pretty wild. How hackers exploit the hidden architecture of the internet. We're talking about APIs. It's this world that most of us never, ever see, but it controls almost everything we do online. And for this story, it all starts with one single chilling discovery. Yeah, imagine hearing those words. A hacker, with just a laptop and some really clever thinking, has pinpointed the real-time location of somebody else's car. I mean, it sounds like something straight out of a movie, right? But as API security expert Corey Ball shows us, this is very, very real. So the question is, how does a hacker even start to find a vulnerability that powerful? Well, the answer is hiding in plain sight. It's in something that forms the actual backbone of the modern internet, something we all use constantly, every single day, but almost never think about. Get this, some experts estimate that nearly 90% of all the data flying around the internet isn't you or me clicking on websites. Nope, it's applications talking to other applications through APIs. And that is the new frontier for hackers. So what even is an API? The easiest way to think about it is like a waiter in a restaurant. You don't need to know how the kitchen works, right? You just give your order, your request, to the waiter, and they handle all the messy communication with the kitchen to bring you back exactly what you asked for. APIs do that exact same job, but for software. So for a hacker, every single API is a potential door into a system. But you can't just walk up and start jiggling the handles. The first step, always, is reconnaissance. You gotta understand the target. Now, some APIs have these nice public maps. Developers call it documentation. But a lot of them, especially the private ones running behind the scenes of the apps we use every day, they're totally uncharted territory. This means the hacker has to basically become a cartographer, mapping this invisible world from scratch. So how do they do it? It's kind of a three-step playbook. First, they just use the app. I mean, they click every button, fill out every form, use every single feature. While they're doing that, step 2, a special tool called a proxy is secretly recording every API call, every order the app sends to the kitchen. And finally, they feed all that recorded traffic into another tool that automatically turns it into a clean, structured map of the API. So they've built their map. In the old days, this is where the really hard work would begin, manually searching for treasure or vulnerabilities. But today, hackers have a ridiculously powerful new assistant. And the difference in speed is, well, it's just staggering. A human expert could spend days picking through hundreds of these API endpoints. An AI, on the other hand, can scan that same list and, in just a few seconds, pinpoint the most promising places to attack. And here's what that AI's report card kind of looks like. It scans the map and spits out a list of potential weak spots. It might flag the login page for an authentication problem or the community forum for a logic flaw. But look at that last one, the vehicle location endpoint. The AI flags it for something called broken object level authorization. Ding, 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 that's our prime target. With the AI basically pointing a giant neon sign at the target, the attack can begin, and it happens in 2 crucial steps. The goal is the GPS location, sure, but the path to get there is, let's say, a little indirect. The first big breakthrough doesn't even happen on the vehicle endpoint. It happens somewhere that seems totally random and unrelated, the app's community forum. So the hacker discovers a really common flaw. When they look at the raw API data coming from the forum, it's sending way more information than the website actually shows you on the screen. This is a classic vulnerability called excessive data exposure. And hidden inside all that extra data is the jackpot. Tucked away in the info about another user's forum post is their unique, supposedly secret vehicle ID, the exact key needed to track their car. This is the checkmate move. The hacker takes that stolen vehicle ID and they plug it right into the GPS location endpoint, the one the AI flagged earlier. So now, they're not asking for their own car's location. They're asking for someone else's. And just like that, the API gives it up. See, the system checked that the hacker was a valid user, but it completely failed to check if they had permission to see that specific car's data. And that's how we come full circle. The hack works. So you're probably wondering, how on earth was this even possible? Well, the entire hack really hinged on 2 very common and honestly very fundamental security mistakes. First up, excessive data exposure. Developers just sent the whole blob of data to the app, assuming the website part would hide the sensitive bits. but hackers can see the raw data, not just what's on the screen. And second, the big one, broken authorization. The system verified who the hacker was, but it never stopped to ask what they were actually allowed to see. And this isn't some rare, exotic flaw. As Corey Ball says himself, these authorization vulnerabilities plague APIs. Why? Because developers are so focused on authentication, making sure you are who you say you are, that checking permissions is, in his words, often forgotten about. Okay, so the story of this hack is a pretty powerful lesson. But here's the good news. Just knowing this stuff, just being aware, is the first and most important step to building a safer digital world for all of us. And if this has sparked your curiosity, there are some amazing resources out there. You can take free courses from the very experts who built these demos. You can go study the official list of the most common API flaws. You can even practice these exact techniques, safely and legally, of course, in labs built specifically for learning. And that really brings us to the final thought, doesn't it? Almost our entire digital lives, from banking to social media to the cars we drive, it all runs on these invisible connections. So the real question this leaves us with is, who's checking to make sure they're all secure?